Africa's president, that is Cyril Ramaphosa, as well as Emmerson Mnangagwa, it's becoming clear Cyril Ramaphosa may have come with an idea to mediate what he foresees would actually be the order of the day in Zimbabwe. And Mnangagwa spinning that to give an impression that Ramaphosa came to him specifically to solidify the relationship with his faction as well as also the African National Congress. We see that is the narrative they are trying to derive. But it's quite clear that Ramaphosa embarked on this private meeting because he realized that Zimbabwe is burning and Zimbabwe is under fire. And you see a lot of people are now thinking that, especially Mnangagwa faction, is seeking to give an impression that Ramaphosa was coming there to stop Chiwenga. And some of the statements that were issued by Ramaphosa that, we will not tolerate the president that would be removed through a coup, something that would hold water. The question is, will this stop now Chiwenga and the Zimbabwe army to go ahead and remove Emmerson Mnangagwa using section 212 of the Zimbabwean constitution, as they did to Robert Gabriel Mugabe, now that Ramaphosa came and it is said such suggestions were made by him. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Tonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. Now let's look at this. What happened in 2017? Robert Gabriel Mugabe had strong relations with Jacob Zuma, and they had signed a lot of actually treaties between him and Jacob Zuma, and they were calling each other brothers. You could see that there was a bond. And I remember when the military had confined Robert Gabriel Mugabe, Zuma was one of the first heads of state in Africa to reach out to Robert Gabriel Mugabe to find out if he was well. But Jacob Zuma ended there because he understood that Zimbabwe is a sovereign state. How it deals with its internal politics, they can only advise. South Africa can only advise. It cannot actually decide how politically Zimbabwe should run things. If it was able to do this, it would have done this long time ago, but they failed to do this. When it comes to them dealing with ZANU-PF, they approach ZANU-PF as a sister party that they want to assist to stay in power. Equally so, ZANU-PF also wishes to do the same to the African National Congress. So, will this stop Chiwenga? I don't think it will stop Chiwenga anyhow, and I don't see even an iota of this stopping Chiwenga, as well as also his faction, from removing Emmerson Mnangagwa. In fact, if there is anything, the visit by Cyril Ramaphosa, you could see some of the military generals already responding to that. The Chiwenga faction responding. They were not pleased with that meeting. Where's the way it was handled? Mnangagwa inviting Zwikanandas, the very same Zwikanandas that the military has consistently complained about them of capturing the state. Yesterday, it was actually revealed to the people of Zimbabwe that these individuals have captured all the aspects of the life of Emmerson Mnangagwa. And if you ask, this was a political meeting. A political meeting needed only political leaders, but the vice presidents were excluded. I hear also the presidential spokesperson of Mnangagwa, that is George Charamba, was excluded on this meeting because they fear that George Charamba is one of the individuals who is feeding the information to the Chiwenga because everything they secretly talk about, they find it actually playing out on the public domain. Every time they try to have a secret or private conversations, a conversation, it lands in the ears of retired General Chiwenga. So yesterday they sidelined the George Charab, but still the details of the what transpired are already out in the public domain. Although numerous versions of this are coming out, it is quite clear that there is, an element of truth in all of the statements that we have seen coming out from that particular meeting. I know that Ramaphosa was elbowed by ZANU-PF, especially the faction of Mnangagwa and Zwikanandas, to give a certain impression. That is why Ramaphosa deflected I'm sure Ramaphosa wanted to meet Mnangagwa in the State House, but Mnangagwa preferred Prikepu farm to give an impression that Ramaphosa was coming to view his farm and to view his work. And they only published, I'm sure through the state propaganda, they will only reveal Ramaphosa may be saying something positive about the farm of Mnangagwa. But the nitty-gritties of the core reason why Ramaphosa was in Zimbabwe, definitely that would not be speculated, it would not be explained. So, in simple terms, that has fueled more tensions. That will give the faction of retired General Chiwenga more reasons to act on the faction of Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. If there is anything that worsened the relations, in my view, and it will end definitely in tears, according to me. You can see the mere exclusion, if it was a political meeting meant for the better of Zimbabwe, why was the vice president excluded? Why was it done on the farm of Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa? I know that it's not Ramaphosa who proposed that. ZANU-PF, especially of Mnangagwa, is a manipulative political organization. Ramaphosa was manipulated to go there. He came to Harare, most probably expected to be hosted at State House, but Mnangagwa, noticing that the State House was not safe, were bound to be privy of what was going to be discussed. And also because he wanted to incorporate Zwikanandas, he had to divert the meeting. And instead of listening to Ramaphosa, he had to actually speak more and try to prove to Ramaphosa how right he is. That is my view from the details that have come through, and it doesn't stop the tensions that were already existing before. And Mnangagwa has proven beyond reasonable doubt that is a man who can't listen to another head of state who risked his political image to come and actually try to make sense to him. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okancuba Mhlabane is signing off.